Hi guys, it's me, my famous bonnet again. So I wanted to share another testimony of how God blessed me again. And so if you've seen the last video, I explained how God blessed me with a car as a witness to waiting on God and how he's going to come through after that waiting. And so I just want to follow up with another testimony of how God blessed me again. And so after the car was done, after I had ran it to the ground from all of the driving and jobs and works and stuff that I had, it got to a few fender benders. The car was done and I needed a new car. So, cars don't last forever. And it was just on its little last leg, and I knew I was in desperate need for a car, a new car. It was around the time of October, the same time that I got that one, but it was a few years later. My apostle was telling me he was asking me to bring the word on the prayer line, and I was ducking and dodging for a little bit. Stay with me, this has something to do with the testimony. And so I was ducking and dodging for a little bit, and I was just like, I'll get back to you. And then one day he just said, you're going to bring the word on Thursday. So at this time, I do not have a place. And I am in my car the most of the time. And so I'm just like, where am I going to bring this? The prayer line is at 7 p.m. and I'm usually at the library. And so I waited for the library to close, and I just sat in the parking lot where the train tracks were by the library to be able to bring the word and be obedient to God. So while I've written it out in the library, in one of the study rooms, I just stayed and waited for that time for God to bring the word to the prayer line. And so after I had finished it, I was ready to deliver it. I just locked the doors and just hope for the best. And after I did speak, a lot of people were so blessed by it. Like, it just helped so many people, and it did things for a lot of people on the line. So, great service, all of that, just great. The very next day, one of my spiritual mothers called me. She said, I heard an ad on the line for you to go to the dealership. They got a deal. And I'm just like, okay, I'm thinking I need a car, but I don't have any money. At this time, I'm like DoorDashing and Ubering because the job I was at wasn't paying enough. So I'm just like, I'm not in a need I don't have the finances to get a new car, but I know I need one. So I went to the dealership, it was a Kia dealership, just to get numbers, because I'm just like, well, I'll just go. He was like, how can we help you? I was like, I'm just here to get numbers. I heard you had a deal on the radio. He was like, well, we can plug you in and see what, you're working with. I'm just like, I'm not here to buy a car. I don't have any money for that. I don't have the best credit because everything was kind of going on a decline. And so I didn't have anything to give them. I just needed the numbers so I could figure out how much more I need to drive to get everything situated. Me still not praying or thinking or anything concerning God, which we should go to first, but I just, me and my mind. And everything's on me. I gotta figure it out. I gotta do this. That's just okay. So he was like, he ran my numbers. He was like, oh, your credit's not that bad. You have a really decent score. I'm just like, that's decent to you. So he was like, well, what are you looking at today? And I was trying to get a Kia K5, but the one that they had was used. It required money down. I said, sir, I don't have any money. I didn't come to buy a car. I just came to get some numbers. But if you can give me a week or so, I'll be back and I can put some money down so I can drive off the lot. And then they went back and talked so much, and God had this angel of a salesman. He was my salesman. He was Christian as well. He was saved, and he had a great heart, and he was just with me the whole time. He said, I seen them giving people so many deals. You deserve this deal. You deserve a deal. You keep these keys. You hold on to these keys. Don't let nobody take these keys. So I held on to the keys, and I'm just like, okay. And so they came back, and they was like, well, we can get you a car, but you would have to trade in the car you have. I'm talking about the car was done. The new car, the testimony, my first car, it was done. Like, it was not worth $1,000. So I'm just like, if you would take it, go ahead. But it's nothing I can do with it. It was done. So they agreed. I agreed to do a trade-in. Still not thinking I'm leaving here with a car, because the car buying process can take long. So I'm just like, let me just go. Ran the numbers. They said my credit is decent. I agreed to the trade-in, and then the guy came back and gave me another option, a Kia Soul LX. And so he was like, see if you like this. And me, I'm not picky. I just knew I needed a new car with proper AC, because I'm telling you, the AC was going out. It had the digital screen, so I can be able to adjust the climates and the contacts and everything that I needed, and have access to blind spots, and just an updated, modern vehicle, because my first one didn't have all of that. And so I wasn't picky. I was just like, I did not care, and I still don't care. If it's new, it's new. That's all I care about. And the car was brand new. It only had 40 miles on it from people test driving it. So he was like, do you like this one? I was like, yeah, it has all the features. It has a digital instrument panel, which I wanted. So I'm just like, I'm okay with this. So he was like, we're going to see what we can do. You can get this number. And I said, sir, I don't have any money, okay? The dealer, the salesman. So he was like, okay, well, we just contact the banks and see if we can get you approved because your score is decent. He said, we just need to transfer your insurance. In my mind, I'm still not thinking I'm getting a car because I don't have nothing. You know, he was like, do you have work? I was like, yeah, I drive a DoorDash and Uber right now. And so he was like, just show me your stubs. And so I was only able to show them 2 weeks. And it was, one of them was $600 on there. And one of them, the other one was $800. That's it. That's all I had at that time. So I'm just like, I mean, you can do something with it. This is all I got. This is all I got. Okay. He was like, where's it? Is somebody you can call? I said, I don't have a co-signer. It's just me. They came back again. And he said, we just need to transfer your insurance. And so I'm just like, I have prepaid insurance because the car was so run down, or I wasn't going to pay full coverage for something that I was just done. When you buy a new car, you have to have insurance, full coverage insurance when you drive off the lot. And I said, I don't have anything. I said, I don't have any money. But I was like, I can go DoorDash for a week or so and come back and give you all the stuff. He said, stay right here. And then he came back and he said, I'm going to pay for your insurance. I said, huh? He said, I'm going to pay for the insurance on the car. He said, call the people. Ask how much it is, and it was high too. It was like $600. So I'm just like, it was like a 600. He was like, here. He did the numbers, he put his number in, he paid for the insurance. And so he was like, here, now all we need you to do is sign these documents. I was like, sign the documents. He said, this car is yours. And I said, what? He was like, yeah, take this bag, go get your belongings out of the old car. Congratulations on your new car. I did not have no cosigner. He said my credit was decent, but it was still bad. I only had 2 weeks worth of $600 for 1 week of pay stub and $800 on the other one. I did not have no money in the bank. I did not have no money for insurance. God favored me so well that he caused the salesman to pay for the insurance so I can drive off the lot with a brand new. It was brand new. It was that same year. It was a brand new car with only 40 miles on it, only because people were test driving it. Otherwise, it would have been zero. It was a brand new car. I didn't have nothing. I didn't even go in there expecting to get a car. But because I finally was obedient and to God, to the apostle telling me to bring forth the message, which was God, which was needed for so many other people, the very next day, he blessed me with a new car that I did not come to him about. Because in my mind, I have to figure this out. I had to figure out how to do this. I need to do this. You know, it's like me. I didn't come to God and ask God for a new car. So while the one that he blessed me with ran out, God still blessed me again. There's like 2.5, 3 years later, God blessed me again. And so if you are in a place where the first blessing is running out and you're needing God to do it again, you're needing God to supply again, he will come through again. Whatever it is that he is telling you to do, even if it's not related to that, just be obedient and watch God work, because that is a miracle in itself. That is a miracle. I will, even though I'll never forget the first one, I will never forget this. This was a miracle that the Lord has done for me with no cosign, no nothing. No, I drove off that day with a brand new vehicle after being obedient and bringing forth the message to God's people. After I did it, God blessed me in return. So I just say that to say it doesn't matter how many more times you are in a need again. It doesn't matter what you need God to do for you again. It doesn't matter if you need God to show up for you again, because he's going to show up again. He's going to do it again. Just like he blessed you before, he is able to bless you again. Just give it to God. Don't be like me and, try to put everything on yourself. Because God literally did it. And I was just the happiest person. And this was my first car. Nobody gave this to me. Nobody else's name is on it. Y'all already know how that go. This was mine. I signed the paperwork for this. God bless me again. So be blessed. Take that as encouragement. God bless your hearts and all your parts.